Hi guys, welcome to Make 2 and our 29th episode of our Let's Build a World in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Next week is episode 30 where there'll be a map download, so stay tuned for that, and if you're excited about that, please leave a like down below. Now, last week we explored the outside of the train station. Since then I've done some of the inside of the train station and some of the platforms, so let's go inside and take a look. So here is our stairs down to our subway station. Here we've just got some nice lights, which is where people just gather, so, just where people check out what's going on. We're going to get to those big numbers in a second. Here we have a pretty basic ticketing booth. See, it says tickets up there. Here's sort of the glass screens and you get your tickets here. And then if you're waiting, there's some nice couches here. I think these quartz stairs work really well, certainly against the brick. It's a nice contrast. So yeah, here are some just a nice little waiting area. And here, like in many big train stations, you have a big departure board and announcements of what trains are going at what time from what platform. Now, I did want to have 3 platforms or maybe more, but it turned out that I could only really fit 2 in, and even then the platforms are kind of small. So I decided, rather than having a whole big bulletin board, which is a bit hard to put with blocks this big in Minecraft, I just went for a sign saying this is platform number 1 and this is platform number 2. I think the numbers turned out okay. It's the same blue as we've used throughout the building, but the orange I think is a good contrast. And then you just go through these doors and you get to a whole bunch of pillars. I should probably get rid of some of these because you can't actually go through there, you'll fall on the tracks. But if you go through, say, this middle one here, you'll get right onto the main platform, and here you can board either the train on platform 2 or the train on platform 1. Now we're going to take a little bit of a bird's eye view here. The main bit of the build, which actually took a long time, as I always say, is building these train tracks. I didn't just want to use the Minecraft built-in tracks. I wanted to do something a little bit bigger scale, so you've got the wooden sleepers here that are going across, they're just wooden trunks. Now I thought quartz pillars on their sides would go well being the actual iron tracks. So they scroll all the way down the tracks obviously, and then in between I sort of 1, 2, 3 wooden logs to be the sleepers. And because this is just a pretty long track, I wanted to break it up a little bit, and as you can see I've added some texture on one side with buttons over here, and another side here with pressure plates. So if you're at the right angle you can't see them at all, but from most angles you can actually just get a little bit of a sense of texture, and I think that works pretty well. Now we have a train in the station. It's a bit of a small train, and I'm going to make a confession. I am not very good at vehicles. I think the best vehicle I ever did was a tractor, because that's really chunky and simple. Trains are pretty hard, and this is only 5 wide, which is somewhat limiting, and I also found like in order to get the right shape I needed to use stairs, and then you have to use wood. So I try my best. You've got the kind of bumper things at the front, and they can go up against this thing here of brick stairs. It's kind of right at the end of the platform to protect things if the train's still going fast as it gets to the end of the platform. It's got a space here where you can see down into the driver's compartment, and it's just got some adornment on the side. There's some doors where people can go in to go and find their seats, and they've just got some use of anvils and these quartz blocks just to give sort of a line to it, and some ladders as well to break up the horizontal line. So I think it's okay as trains go. I quite like this touch I have between carriages. You can see there's 2 doors here with some decoration on the side, and then I put just a wooden gate connecting the 2, and that's kind of the connection point. And you can't have them floating in the air, you have to put a block beneath, then put the gate, then get rid of the block beneath. And here we have a main passenger car. Again, has a little bit of decoration, more windows than the engine car. And back it's only 2, because I didn't have that much space, because as you can see it's already going across the river. So we're now outside the station. This is where it heads on out into, the rest of Makeopia. But you can see here actually we've come across a tunnel. The train tracks go straight into a tunnel, and it's so dark you can't see. But what we can see here is another train coming in, and it's just going in slowly into the station here, but we've only got a little bit of it exposed. So I thought this was a clever trick to just try me. I wouldn't have to build tracks just going for miles and miles and miles and miles that way. So what I did was I built up this big mound here of earth, and I just assumed that the train tracks, once they reach this tunnel, they just start going downwards, and the train magically goes into an underground tunnel and it heads out this way. So here you can imagine the tracks deep down underneath the ground. So it's kind of like a really big underground railway system, but then at some point it would come up again and be a big train track thing. So I'm hoping at some point this will all turn to grass. About a third of it has so far, which is pretty good, but obviously once it's all got grass you can put flowers on and trees and it can start just to blend in more with the surroundings. So yeah, I know it's a sort of a bit of a fudge to try and mean I don't have to build train tracks forever and ever, but I do like the idea of having this just, it goes into black, can't see anything. I think that's quite a clever technique. It's a shame that my sort of mound couldn't go and join up with something natural in the landscape, but the landscape's just a bit funny over there. But overall, I think this now, if you take it from this view, this being our whole train station area, I just think looks really nice. There are train tracks, there's a train platform, there's a waiting area and platform signs, and there's the massive towers of the train station. Oh, and there's one thing I forgot to show you, and that is on the reverse of the platform sign, because I did this a double wide, I did a clock. So it's just a very simple clock, similar to the ones I did in the tower, and it just means that, if you're waiting for your train, you can see what time it is. So that's just a nice little touch. So that's it for the train station, platforms, and my attempt at a train. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to know if you have done some cool trains in Minecraft. Pocket Edition, certainly. I think if you have sort of 10 wide trains and better design skills than me, you can make some great trains. But at this scale, I'd love to know what you think and what you think is possible. So do drop me a line in the comments. Otherwise, as I said, stay tuned next week because it's episode 30. It's going to be a celebration. There will be some new building and there'll also be a tour of the whole of Maketopia. And I said also a link to a map download. So if you want to download this and put it in your own game, you can do so. Okay guys, thanks for watching.